Good morning everyone, thank you very much for watching. My name's Jax, and in this video I'm going to be hiking along the southwest coast through Studland and finding secrets of the Second World War. Come along. Okay everyone, welcome to Sandbanks. Sandbanks sits at the mouth of Poole Harbour, which is the second largest natural harbour in the world, but the largest in the northern hemisphere. Monty Python filmed a few sketches here. And Coldplay made a video here. 'Cause you are all yellow. But it's also good use for something called Exercise Smash, which is the largest live fire exercise of the Second World War. And that's why I'm here today. So back in 1944 they were looking for somewhere that had the same sort of environment as beaches of Normandy. And look behind me, you've got large flat beaches leading up into dunes, and it just goes that way for miles and miles and miles. So it seemed a perfect location to replicate and to practice what they were eventually going to put into practice on D-Day. Okay, so I've just come off the beach, only about, I don't know, a quarter of a mile, and ready, finding a bit of evidence of what the place was used for. Okay, this is cool. Okay, so I mean, I don't know what this is, but it's obviously a building of some form. It's the right kind of concrete structure that was made in the 40s and 50s. I tell you what, this would be a really cool place to camp. Kind of tucked away from everywhere. Might have to come back. We used to have a lot of aerial areas around here, so could be something to do with that. No, there's a ton of this old iron rebar just sticking out of this. Asking for an accident, but saying that shouldn't be up here either. But it's gonna be quite cool. I'm gonna move on. World War II beer can. I'm going to move on, but that tells me at least I'm on the right track. I found something. Back down to the path. Okay, so I've barely come 100 yards from the last one already. Up here, I see some more ruins of another building. Gonna take a look. Another building. More the same type of concrete, more the same rebar. Can I see another one? Oh really, the other one's just over this sort of direction. Yeah, it's another one. Same kind of concrete that was built during the 40s, 50s, 60s and the like. I don't know where it's a stone over there. Big block of it. I can tumbling down, but yeah, I'm not sure what this is. But do know is it's a good little find. Okay, I'm gonna get him. Yeah, they take this pretty serious. In fact, several times a year, old armaments, bombs, grenades, various other things are found, and then the bomb squad has to come out, detonate them to make it safe for the public. I'd hate to be the person to find one. So if you want to come to Sandbanks, you can do. It's open all year round to anyone and everyone, treated respectfully, obviously. I'd advise is one word of caution though, and it's this. Story time. We came down here once, me and my family, extended family too, on holiday. Me, my parents, my younger sister, my cousins, my aunts, my grandparents. And we didn't know about that sign. We didn't know about that beach. But along this way, there's a long road. You got off that ferry, the chain ferry. And it was the middle of the summer. There was no parking. So we carried on driving up the road, finally parked up, walked along this beach. I was about 10. Came onto the beach. Oh no, before we'd even come onto the beach, there was an old man standing there, bearing it all. Fair play to him. My gran, little old conservative gran, she was livid. Look at them. Isn't it disgusting? I was 10, I was quite happy looking at the ladies, but you know, that's another story. Spitfire! Oh, yes. Couldn't have been any more well timed. Coming up to the cool bit that I want to show you. That's the main reason I've come out to this place. See, they knew that exercise smash obviously took place here. They couldn't find a great deal of evidence as far as I know. And about 4-ish, maybe 5 years ago, at the time of filming that is, we had a forest fire, well, a wildfire, heath fire. What they did is cleared all the plant life that was up here. It's all thriving now, it's coming back to life. But once all that green went, all the heath, the bracken, the gorse and the like, it showed what was actually underneath all that, what had remained hidden for all these years. So that's what, and that's what I want to show you guys. See all these older trees, little pine trees, some of them still standing even though they've been burnt to a cinder. And when we get past those, you can just see the extent of where that fire went. So we have all along here, there's a Spitfire again there, and all this part, all of this was entirely decimated by the fire. It was a blessing and a curse, because not only did the fire destroy the wildlife, it unveiled things that have been lost and hidden for 80 years. See, take a look at this. Foxhole. Remnants of an old foxhole. There's another. It's actually really quite cool. And we are just next to the main road. Another foxhole. Looks like another foxhole over there, one over here. Foxhole there, foxhole here, or potentially at least, I can't tell for certain. Take a look at this, this was a gun emplacement. Get along there. So they've been in here, firing out. Over there. Got some it's kind of hard to see, but reinforced, almost looks like a trench or a wall or something. Goes all the way along, right into the distance. Take to the other end, see if I can show you a bit of a better area. Here we are, kind of in the middle. It goes all the way along, all these sort of reinforced embankments. I can see another. So there's another one coming all the way along. So they've been potentially in here doing target practice over that way. We've got more foxholes. I don't know if we filled in these ones, but they're here nonetheless. See, when the wildfire affected the area, local residents reported more popping and crackling than they would have expected. And it turns out the whole place was just littered with old armaments and things like bullets, and you can see it, there's so much just iron, metal, brown stuff just all over the place. If you're lucky enough, might even find something. Here we are. On bullet case. Another. See, back in 1944 when they were conducting exercise smash, this site here, not at one time but over the course of the whole practice, was home to 10,000 Allied troops across Britain and Canada. And when that fire was here, not only did it unearth the embankments, the gun emplacement and the foxholes and the like, but it also they found things like canteens, forks, spoons, knives, a lot of old equipment being left behind. And occasionally they'll bring it out when they have an open day through the National Trust. They would also have, out at sea, Navy would be practicing their firing on this area as well. So I've got a good little selection of bits. I'm not going to go taking too many. Just want to be a bit respectful for the place because a lot's gone on here. I'm going to give them to my kids because they love that sort of stuff. But also it means that if anyone else does want to come out here and try and find their own, they can. I'll go make myself a brew, but in the style of the occasion, get doing military stuff. Yeah, so boil on my little canteen and cup, a little hexy soap. Haven't used this thing in years. Take a look at these. A couple of old hexy blocks. These things are illegal now. People are making bombs out of them. I think it's my last two. Got myself some hot chocolate. Like I remember it barely warm. Studied, good to go. Okay, so come away from Studland a bit, we're further along the beach. I had to walk along the main road. I'm now at something called Normal Beach. Up there, Liverpool. That's where I'm going next. Just about make him out behind me, but we have concrete embankments to go along the other side called Dragon's Teeth, and they were there to prevent any vehicles from coming inland, such as tanks and armoured personnel and the like. Sort of called a reminder. Okay, made it. So one of the things that they were practicing here was these Valentine's amphibious tanks, and they did work to an extent. However, 6 of them started taking on water, and just out at sea, not too far by a place called Old Harris Rocks. 6 servicemen drowned when the tanks took on water and unfortunately sunk. They're still out there. If you're a fan of scuba diving, you can go and take a look. Yes, another unfortunate event of the war, but at least we got a nice little memorial to those. Plus, you can see why they picked this place. You can see all the way across this, almost the whole of the south coast. So you've got all of Studland, all of Poole, down into Bournemouth, over to Southport and Hengistbury Head, and then just a bit behind these trees, you can't really see it, is the Isle of Wight. So you've got quite a large span of airspace. Okay everyone, welcome to Fort Henry. They built this as a aircraft lookout, to get the term. But it's also where William Churchill and Field Marshal Montgomery and another, we'll take a look at the sign in a minute, overlooked exercise smashed. So over there, Sandbanks, where I was, where exercise smash took place, and you can see why they picked it. The beaches are very close to Normandy in terms of their lightness, but let's get through here. A bit tight. The walls are very thick. And I mean, Churchill wasn't a slight guy, but he might have struggled to get through that. But this is quite a cool thing to see. It's not that big, we didn't need to be. Like I say, they would have also been looking out for aircraft. It's not very big. We're at the end now. It seems an ideal place to watch over the exercise. Sure, it was a success, which it was. And then continue its use. Exit already. These are those Valentine tanks. You can pause it. Well, I won't do it too long, but you can pause it if you want to have a read. Take a look at this. Well, so just outside before of an old gun emplacement. This is actually built in something like 1942. So we've got an old gun emplacement there. And again, you can watch that for any aircraft. I want to go in there. Can't, but it's a cool little place. Take a look at these along the route. They've got a couple of these listening posts that have first-hand accounts. on that first-hand account, they were saying how they pump oil into the sea and then set it alight in case there's any, or in preparation for any boats coming. And also they would use the lake at Studland as target practice, as I mentioned before, but that the whole of Studland and everything I visited today was completely cut off with armed personnel and barbed wire from Studland all the way around past Swanage. Didn't stop them there, they just crawled underneath and had a day at the beach wherever they could, but still interesting. Take a look at this. These things are called pill boxes. They have someone stationed inside. There's a lookout. I'm going to take a look in. Oh, before the tide comes. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I've gone through about everything I can show you on this path without going any further, and time's getting on. I got to go back to my boys. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you very much if you made it to the end. If you know anyone else who has or would appreciate this sort of thing, pass it on, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.